A very good afternoon. You're watching the Midday News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Let us start the Midday News with the headlines. Prime Minister Modi hands over keys of houses to 40,000 beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana at a ceremony in Shirdi in Maharashtra. Launches development and welfare projects worth 475 crore rupees. Opening plenary session of the 12th Asia-Europe Meeting Summit in Brussels, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu to intervene during session. Trade, investment, security, climate change and terrorism among issues to be discussed. Three unidentified terrorists killed in failed infiltration bid in Jammu and Kashmir. Army guns down terrorists along the line of control in Baramulla district. Police personnel provide security cover to 3 women who attempt to enter Sabrimala temple in Kerala. Return after opposition by devotees who block their way. Temple administration meet to find amicable solution to the row today. And the Dussehra, Vijayadashmi and Vidya Arambham being celebrated across the country. Festivals mark the victory of good over evil and the journey from darkness to light. Famous Ravan Dahan to be held in the evening. The top story this afternoon, Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the valedictory function of the Sai Baba Samadhi centenary celebrations in Shirdi today. He unveiled the plaque to mark the laying of a foundation stone of various development works of Sai Baba Sangathan Trust. The Prime Minister also launched development and welfare projects worth 475 crore rupees. He also released a silver coin to commemorate the centenary year of Sai Baba Samadhi. He also visited the Sai Baba Samadhi temple complex. Apart from this, the Prime Minister handed over the keys of houses to 40,000 beneficiaries of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin and attended the Grih Pravesh ceremony. And addressing the gathering, he said that the government has set the goal of providing permanent house to every family by 2022.
साथियों, पहले जो सरकार थी, उस पिछली सरकार ने अपने आखिरी 4 साल के वर्षों में पूरे देश में सिर्फ 25 लाख घर बनाए थे। 4 साल में 25 लाख, कितने? 4 साल में जरा बोलिए ना, बताइए क्या हुआ? 4 लाख में कितने घर बनाए थे? 4 साल में कितने घर बनाए थे? 25 लाख। जबकि बीते 4 वर्षों में हमारी सरकार बनने के बाद, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेतृत्व वाली सरकार केंद्र में आने के बाद 1,25,00,000 घर बनाए हैं। उनके 4 साल के 25 लाख और हमारे 4 साल के 1,25,00,000। अगर वही सरकार होती तो इतने घर बनाने के लिए 20 साल लग जाते, 20 साल।
And news from Brussels now, where Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu would be intervening during the first plenary session of Assam Summit in a short while from now. The summit is being held in Brussels, and on Thursday, the Vice President held several meetings with the leaders on the sidelines of the Assam Summit. He called on His Majesty, the King of Belgium, at the Royal City Palace. He also interacted with the Prime Minister of Portugal and Greece, the President of the European Council and the European Commission. Take a look at this report.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu will address the first plenary session of the 12th Asia-Europe Meeting Summit in Brussels today. On Thursday, he attended the opening ceremony of the meeting. Earlier in the day yesterday, he met King Philip, the King of the Belgians, at the Presidential Palace. The two leaders discussed their expectations from the 2018 summit, which is centered on the theme Global Partners for Global Challenges. Vice President Naidu elaborated on the priority accorded by India to the urgent need for collective efforts of the global community in addressing the menace of terrorism. He also shared his perspective on the successful flagship initiatives of the Government of India, including innovative governance to address the complex challenges faced by the country as the world's largest democracy and to simultaneously put India on a faster, inclusive growth and development trajectory. India thanked Belgium for its consistent support of its candidacies at the UN and other international organizations. Both sides expressed commitment to boost investment, trade and people-to-people ties. Later in the evening, Vice President Naidu interacted with the Prime Minister of Portugal, Antonio Costa. He also met the President of the European Council, Donald Tusk, and the President of the European Commission, Jean-Claude Juncker, at the Europa building. He also met the Prime Minister of Greece, Alexis Tsipras, on the sidelines of the ASEM summit. His bilateral meetings with world leaders will continue today as well, while the second plenary session is underway. Raj Kamal Rao's report from Brussels for Rajya Sabha TV.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu is attending the session being organized on the theme Building the Future Together, Promoting Inclusive Growth and Sustainable Connectivity at the ASEM Summit. India has been actively participating in the two continent-based group and engaging with the member nations. Here is a look into the importance of ASEM.
The key characteristics of ASEM are informal process of dialogue and cooperation between European and Asian countries, with a special stress on equal partnership, high-level and people-to-people link. It also offers a platform to discuss regional and international issues. As per estimates, ASEM represents around 62.3% of the world population and 57% of the global GDP, and almost 60% of world trade. This massive economic strength of the region is a main reason for high-level engagements between the 53 partners, 30 European and 21 Asian countries, the European Union and the ASEAN Secretariat. Keeping the dynamics in mind, India joined the ASEM in 2006 with effect from 1st January 2007. Ever since the inclusion, India has always been an active participant. India held its first summit-level participation in October 2008 when then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh led the delegation to Beijing. In 2010, then Vice President Hamid Ansari. In 2012, then Foreign Minister Salman Khurshid. In 2014, General V.K. Singh led the Indian delegation. Then Vice President Ansari attended the 11th ASEM held at Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news now. Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe arrived in Delhi on Thursday on a 3-day visit. Wickremesinghe is expected to hold wide-ranging talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday. And during the visit, the two Prime Ministers are likely to review the status of India-assisted housing projects in Jaffna. Home Minister Rajnath Singh and External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj will also call on Wickremesinghe. This is the Sri Lankan Prime Minister's fifth official visit to India since taking office in 2015.
You are aware of the very close friendship and partnership between India and Sri Lanka. Development cooperation between India and Sri Lanka, of course, will be one of the items which could be discussed. Beyond that, I think at this stage it will be difficult for me. I'm sure once the meeting is concluded, then we will have some details for you.
Big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where 3 unidentified terrorists were killed in a failed infiltration bid along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir's Baramulla district today. The army on Thursday foiled the infiltration bid along the line of control in Uri sector of Baramulla district. The police said that alert troops noticed some suspicious movement along the line of control near Torna in Boniar area in the early hours of Thursday and challenged the infiltrators. The infiltrators opened fire towards the positions of the security forces, which was retaliated. We'll slip into a very short break here. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Welcome back. A big story coming in from Kerala, where 3 women today attempted to enter the Sabrimala shrine in Kerala. Kerala police provided them with security during their trek, but they had to return after the devotees blocked their way. A woman journalist from Hyderabad and an activist from Kerala were among the 3 women who attempted entry. Devaswam Minister of Kerala said that the activists should not try to make the holy land of Ayyappan a place to prove their strength. The police is holding discussions with the women who insist that they should reach the shrine. The centre has asked the Kerala government to ensure peace across the state following protests against the Supreme Court order allowing women of all age groups to enter Sabrimala temple. In an advisory, the Home Ministry said that the maintenance of law and order, including providing security to women wishing to visit the temple, was the responsibility of the state government. Meanwhile, Kerala government in its communication has assured the centre that the apex court order would be implemented. Amid mounting protests in Kerala against the entry of women of menstrual age into Sabrimala temple, the Travancore Devasam board will meet today in Thiruvananthapuram to find an amicable solution to the row. Ahead of the meeting, the TDB, which administers the hill shrine, on Thursday said that it was ready for any sort of compromise to end the standoff. On to some other news, the CBSE on Thursday introduced reforms for granting affiliation to schools. Under the new reforms, state governments will certify a school's infrastructure, and new schools applying for affiliation will need to get a no objection certificate from the district education officer who will inspect the infrastructure of the school. And after the NOC from the district education officer, the board will do another inspection for learning outcomes. The new provisions also mandate schools to make a full disclosure of the fee structure and prohibit them from levying any hidden charges. The schools cannot force students to buy books, uniforms or other school-related items from a specific shop or establishment. The CBSE is also asking schools to give an undertaking about making sports mandatory. Prakash Javadekar said that the complete revamp is being done to ensure speed, transparency and ease of doing business with the board.
हमने पहला आज मेजर सुधार किया है कि जिला शिक्षण अधिकारी जमीन, सेफ्टी और बाकी सब जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के मसले हैं, जो स्कूल के रिक्वायरमेंट है, जो एनओसी देते समय होते हैं, उसको एक बार ऑथेंटिकेट करेंगे जांच करके कि इस पर सीबीएसई पुनः जांच नहीं करेगी। सीबीएसई उसमें सीधा केवल एक नया इंस्पेक्शन करेगी जो केवल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का नहीं होगा, वो आउटकम का होगा। ये दूसरा बदलाव है कि सीबीएसई के स्कूल में यूनिफॉर्म कहाँ से खरीदे, जूते कहाँ से खरीदेंगे, टाई कहाँ से खरीदेंगे, इसका कोई कंपल्शन नहीं होगा। कहीं से भी दुकान से वो जो यूनिफॉर्म होगा वो छात्र डालेंगे, लेकिन कहाँ से लेना ये दुकान का कंपल्शन नहीं होगा। फिर जो भी फीस का डिस्क्लोजर है वो सब डिस्क्लोजर होना चाहिए कि खर्चा कितना, उत्पन्न कितना, आय कितना, ये सब समझना चाहिए। और तीसरी बात हमने कही है कि हिडन कॉस्ट नहीं चाहिए।
For the first time, Indian Railways will manufacture metro rail coaches at its Raebareli-based factory under the Make in India scheme. The coaches will be manufactured by robots and will be on par with those being manufactured by Canadian firm Bombardier, currently being used by metro trains in the country. Now, they will be 40% cheaper than those procured from China and other countries and will be equipped with Wi-Fi, CCTV cameras, mobile charging outlets, among other facilities. In addition, they will also boast of safety features, including signaling, door control, and also train management systems, along with modern surveillance gadgets on board. It will also be the first factory in the country where coaches will be produced by robots. News from Rajasthan. The number of people infected with the Zika virus has risen to 106 in Rajasthan, with the 6 new cases being reported from Jaipur and 2 neighbouring districts on Thursday. Of the total affected people, 25 are reportedly pregnant women. In view of the rising cases, the centre on Wednesday rushed an Indian Council of Medical Research team to the state to intensify vector control measures. The team of experts from ICMR has changed the insecticides which are being used in the city and neighbouring districts to kill mosquitoes that spread Zika, dengue and chikungunya viruses. Zika virus has been found in some mosquitoes taken as samples from the Sindhi camp and the densely populated Shastri Nagar area. Intense fogging and other anti-larvae activities are being carried out in these areas from where the cases have been reported. And according to the officials, almost all Zika virus affected patients are healthy now after treatment. News from Delhi NCR. The air quality in the NCR region adjoining New Delhi remained very poor for the second day in a row on Thursday. Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amarinder Singh met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi to press for the compensation to farmers to discourage them from burning stubble. Singh told the Prime Minister that one of the main causes of air pollution is stubble burning and the air quality levels could further deteriorate if the matter is not addressed urgently. The overall air quality index of Delhi was recorded at 315, with several areas nearing severe levels of air pollution. All the international news now. Bhutan voters have chosen a centre-left DNT party in the general election. The party won 30 of the 47 National Assembly seats, the lower house of parliament, according to the provisional results. The voters handed an overwhelming victory to DNT, a new party headed by a surgeon, in the third democratic election held by the Himalayan kingdom. DPT secured the other 17 seats in the runoff contest, which was limited to two parties. The first round of voting was held in September, in which DNT and the DPT got maximum votes, while the ruling PDP came third and failed to qualify for the last round. DNT leader Lotte Tshering, a 50-year-old surgeon, vowed to work for nation building in the country as well as to tackle youth unemployment, rural poverty and criminal gangs. Big story coming in from Afghanistan, where a powerful Afghan police chief was among at least 3 people killed in a shooting on Thursday by the Taliban. Top US Commander General Scott Miller was the target. Miller was not hurt in the assault claimed by the militant group that also wounded at least 12 people, including 3 Americans, a provisional governor. Security forces swarmed the southern city of Kandahar after the shooting that shuttered shops and sent terrified civilians already on high alert for attacks into their homes. The intelligence chief of Kandahar was also among those killed. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi condoled the killing and said that India stands by the brave people of Afghanistan. US President Donald Trump has said that it looks like that Saudi Arabia's missing dissident journalist Jamal Khashoggi is dead. He warned of very severe consequences if Saudi Arabia is responsible. Donald Trump's remarks came after he was briefed on the investigation by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who returned from a trip to Saudi Arabia and Turkey. Khashoggi, who has not been seen since entering Saudi Arabia's consulate in Istanbul earlier this month, is feared to have been killed inside the mission. Meanwhile, Turkish investigators have told local as well as the US media that Khashoggi was brutally killed inside the consulate. US Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin has decided against attending a Saudi investment summit later this month following the developments. And we'll take another short break here. Up next, we have all the sporting action. News from Denmark Open. Indian shuttlers Saina Nehwal, Sameer Verma and Kidambi Srikanth entered the quarterfinals of the ongoing Denmark Badminton Open. In the women's singles, Saina Nehwal defeated world number 2 Akane Yamaguchi of Japan for the first time in 4 years to make it to the quarterfinals. Saina Nehwal defeated Akane 21-15, 21-17. She will next face Nozomi Okuhara of Japan in the quarterfinal today. In the men's singles, Sameer Verma defeated Indonesia's Jonathan Christie 23-21, 6-21, 22-20 in a close contest. In another men's singles, defending champion Srikanth defeated 2-time Olympic champion Lin Dan of China. Srikanth beat him 18-21, 21-17, 21-16 to set up a clash with compatriot Sameer Verma. The two will face each other today. And the women's doubles, the Indian duo of Ashwini Ponnappa and Sikki Reddy defeated South Korean team of Lee So-hee and Shin Seung Chang 18-21, 22-20, 21-18 to get a berth in the quarterfinals. An Indian men's hockey team beat host Oman 11-0 in their opening match of the Asian Champions Trophy. Teenager Dilpreet Singh's hat-trick helped the Indian side seal the victory. Of the 11 goals that India scored, 5 came off the 8 penalty corners created by the Indian forwards. India opened the scoring through Lalit Upadhyay in the 17th minute, after which Harmanpreet Singh and N. Sharma scored 2 back-to-back goals for India in the 21st and the 22nd minutes respectively. And finally, today India celebrates the festival of Dussehra, also known as Vijay Dashmi, as this commemorates the victory of good over evil. President Ramnath Kovind, as well as Vice President and the Prime Minister, have greeted the nation on the occasion. President Ramnath Kovind greeted people on the occasion of Durga Puja, Dussehra and Vijay Dashmi. In his message, the President said, "On the auspicious occasion of Durga Puja and Vijay Dashmi, I convey Shubho Bijoya as well as Dussehra greetings and best wishes to all my fellow citizens in India and abroad." And extending his good wishes to the people, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also tweeted that the Dussehra festival reminds us of the victory of good over evil. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi also took to Twitter and wished the entire nation on Dussehra. Meanwhile, as the country is soaked in a festive mood, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also participate in the Ravan Dahan program along with President Ramnath Kovind in the national capital. Congress President Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi will also participate in the Dussehra celebrations today. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching and happy Dussehra to all of you.